You can see these applicator brushes, very small tips to just kind of dab the paint in there. Then we have this, which I've never tried before. It's actually, I think, some kind of artist's pencil. And the idea is this very tight tip will just kind of dab the paint into the gap without kind of creating those high bubble marks. We'll see whether that's the case. And then we got the original paint to match the vehicle for obvious reasons. And that's a 2-stage in one, so there's no need to go paint and clear. It's all kind of baked into the touch-up. So that will take care of that. All right, so first of all, you're gonna see these two little chips here. We're gonna do some work on those. Right, can you look at me a pencil, please, Flip? So first, I'm gonna clean this off with some of this eraser. While the car was clean the other day from when you saw I did all the polishing, thank you. I did a couple of short drives, and so just need to get this all cleaned up. Of course, it's been on there so long, it's staining. That's great news. Yikes. Anyway, I'm gonna have to do some polish on here anyway, so I'll get it up that way. But less than there, whatever I'm using, these chalk pens. Yeah, not meant for clear coat. Good to know. Alright, so that's clean. Next, we're going to clean inside the chips. So they've got these little guys. They're called micro applicator brushes. Put it on this camera too, it might be hard to see, but they're like tiny little plastic sticks with these very mild, fluffy elements on the end. And then I'm going to get in there just to clean out inside of these chips to make sure when we put the paint in, it adheres. So I'm going to spray this eraser on here and just right, I'm going to clean out those chips for me. While Riley's getting that ready, just cleaning out inside of those. Perfect. And then here, this is a kid's pencil with an eraser on the end, and then I hole punched a 2000 grit sandpaper here in order to just kind of rough up the edges of the chip. Good job. Right here. And try and make sure if there's anything loose, if there's anything jagged, we just create hopefully a better finish because of it. This is not my idea. This is something that Larry Casilla of Ammo NYC recommended once upon a time, and so it's good enough for Larry. It's definitely good enough for me. So you can see it's just coming right off on there. So that's the clear. If you can get it. You can just set on the tone. And we're just going to do this one too. We're going to do these two at the same time because they're right here. Okay, so this is the Carrera White paint from Porsche, the official touch-up paint. Obviously, any touch-up, first and foremost, when you through to the metal like this, the primary objective is going to be protecting the car from car cancer, better known as rust. And then secondly, if you can do a good job of it, all the better. There's another whole thing right there. It's so small. Let's see if we can get that. So what I'm going to do is, this is Larry's way. He actually has two ways. The other one is using this fluid writer pen, and we're going to use both and see which one turns out best. I don't have any preconceived notions about this. So we'll fill up the reservoir here, and then you've got this very, very fine tip down here, which allows you to really accurately place the paint. Now I'm slightly curious with the angle here of these particular chips, but we have some flat chips over there that it might work better on. But anyway, for now, we're going to just blot some paint in. So you bite off the end so you don't have that fluffy part, and you're basically just left with a plastic point. And again, that's for precision's sake. So we can get some paint. You can see these guys come with these kind of white out nibs, and these are just so clunky that they're just really hard to place the paint. So we're just gonna scrape a little bit off here. So you can see from a precision standpoint that we got those chips filled in, but clearly that paint's going to be pretty high, so we'll have to sand that down. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a heat gun here, and then that'll help the paint shrink and dry quicker, and then we'll see exactly how much work is left to do. So we're just going to take a pretty basic heat gun here, and heat this paint just to have it set off, and we'll see how much it shrinks. So, just realized that recording may not have been occurring on this camera you've been looking at the whole time, but we'll see how the footage works out, and we'll do some more anyway. So this is some 2500 wet sandpaper, or wet or dry sandpaper, and I've got some water on there. We're going to try and level off this paint here and see how it's looking. And if the 2500 doesn't take it down, then we'll see. We'll move up to a 2000 grit. Going to use it to scratch out that paint pen on here too. And well, obviously you're going to see some sanding marks here.
At least the pink pen is gone.
Yeah, so the pink pen's gone, and you can see probably on this camera where that one's really good. This one's decent, a little chip there, and then this one's pretty good too. I think I'm going to put another layer on because I'm a nasty perfectionist. But I think you can see from this, let's just clear some of this junk out. How obviously we've got the sanding marks, which will have to be buffed out, which that's not a big deal. And again, if you look from an angle, like I'm over here, hello, the scuff marks are there, and that's what can be buffed out with the polisher and some compound, but they actually look pretty good for a first pass.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Oh, we don't have to waste it. Alright, so we'll get some on the tip. Right here. Yes.
I'm almost as funny as you.
You are, huh? Oop, went a little crazy there. But you know what? We can level it. Just put a little bit. So, not the, I guess we're not going to go the precise route. We're going to go the I'm going to fix it route. So I'm going to dry this off again with the heat gun, and we'll get the wet sand paper on it and level it back off. Alright, so I've got my wet sandpaper again, still 2500, and this is the second pass, if you will. We're going to just level the paint if we can here. Just not being too aggressive, just gently going after the paint that's to get it leveling up with the rest of the paint. All right, let's clean that off. So now, looking pretty close, don't see any kind of indentations left. So obviously I've still got the marks from the sandpaper there, and I'm gonna try and demonstrate that better to you here so you can probably see, if you get in the same light I am, this area here is dulled by the sandpaper. And then let's see, I'm guessing you can see the repairs from here. So let's do it from a foot. Probably gonna have a harder time seeing it. Again, remember, I've still yet to compound and polish this. And then if we come out here, we're probably 2.5 feet. So from where I am, right next to the camera, I don't see, if I really try, I can see them, but I'm pretty good. I'm gonna be pretty happy with that fix. And then if you come back here, again, if you could see it in the last one, I'm guessing it's even harder this round. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a time lapse over the other ones on the car, and then when I come back, and we're gonna do a compound and polish on these areas just to get these sanding marks out. You're gonna use some microfiber polishing from Meguiar's, and then we're gonna, not polish, this is compound. Then we're gonna polish it to get out the sanding marks and bring it up to the same luster of the rest of the car. At least, that's the plan. Okay, so that's the compound stage. Let's clean that up, and then we'll take some polish to it. Take some isopropyl alcohol. Wipe it down. And let's see here. We get back to the sheen. Where are you looking? Let's see. Did we get it? Alright, so we have the Ammo Cream Reflective Paste, or if you're French, Crème Reflective Paste, I guess. And I'm going to apply that across the, now wipe down. I did another coat of eraser just to wipe it down. You could use an IPA to wipe it down too, just because, like I said, the car has been out. So we're going to do a little scallop pattern all over. And shine her up, and then I'll do some close-ups for you so you can see what I'm most proud of and what I'm least proud of. All right, let's get this off. See how shiny it looks, and I'll do some close-ups on the repairs, and you can grade me accordingly. So, I'm standing at, I don't know, probably 3.5 feet from the car. That's what it looks like post wax. Let me show you the fixes I like. So in there, just inside of that W, the V point is the fix there. That looks pretty good. These look pretty good over here. There were 3 marks there. Here's what I'm not so proud of. This is where, just because of all the angles and my ham-fisted nature with the wet sandpaper, I kind of botched up this corner here, and you know, here's what it is. But on the whole, looks pretty good. Front, again, I wouldn't say I did my best work here, but be surprised if you pick a ton up in terms of where the fixes were. Invariably, if you want to have perfect panels, you got to pay for the full paint job. Otherwise, this is a pretty good second place, and mostly, as you've probably seen from me running around, good old sweat equity.